Mayor Roseworski, I'm here. Mayor Dennis is not going to be with us. David Byers,
Present.
Larry Leverance,
Here.
Peter Bunder,
Here.
Cindy Murray,
Here.
Ben Murray, I believe I saw you on there.
Yep, here.
Okay. And Shane Spears.
Travis Cole for Shane Spears, Mayor.
Okay, Travis. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. That has that mark like that. I should have caught that. Thank you, Travis. And Ben, that said Julie. So this is Ben. Okay. Anyone else that I missed? There's a couple here that doesn't have yes or no. Anybody else that didn't tell them? All right. Thank you, everybody. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes from the March 10th, 2022 meeting. Those have been communicated to you in your packet, and appreciate a motion.
So
I'll make
moved.
a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Are there any corrections, changes, or Scribner's errors? All right. Hearing none, we'll conduct a roll call vote. David Byers,
Aye.
Larry Leverance,
Aye.
Peter Bunder,
Aye.
Cindy Murray,
Aye.
Ben Murray,
Aye.
Travis Cole.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, everyone. The next item on the agenda is Resolution T22-5, resolution to amend the 2022-2026 Transportation Improvement Program, and it's quite a bit to this one. So Doug is going to be explaining this one to us.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. This actually came up fairly quick in that last Wednesday, the bids were opened for the Sagamore Parkway Trail. The good news is that there were 4 bids submitted. The bad news was that the lowest bid submitted was nearly $5 million.
Whoa.
Which is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just, when you said $5 million, I gasped for breath.
Yeah, the engineer's estimate was just a pinch over $4.1 million, so significant increase. So we started looking at where to get the additional federal funds to bring the project back to an 80-20 split. The first source that we pulled, and we did process a tip modification for this, was the additional funds from the Infrastructure and Job Act. It was recently given to us, and that was $117,812. We did process, as I said, a tip modification last Friday to allocate these funds to the project. The second source came from the same funds. If you remember back then, $262,675 were allocated to the right-of-way phase of the Morehouse Road project. Thanks to Stu, he let us borrow these funds for this project, and it is our intent to replenish these funds when we look at the FY 2023 IIJ funds, which we will start looking at those next month. So we now have a balance we need of $303,737. The only way to get these federal funds is through a trade with another MPO. David started calling around, and the Northwest Indiana Regional Plan Commission agreed to the trade. So in essence, they are giving us or letting us borrow their 22 funds, and is our intent to pay them back next fiscal year, again with the federal funds from the IIJA Act. Now, the reason why we needed to process fairly quickly is that after the project bid is open for a local project, the MPO is sent a letter from NDOT Central Office for our federal funding commitment. That was sent to us last Thursday. And in essence, they gave us 5 business days to take care of this. We did tell them that we are processing modifications and amendments to get the additional federal funds, so we do have a little bit longer grace period. But our hope is that after this approval, I hope approval here, we will be able to submit all the paperwork later today. Yesterday, we had an emergency meeting, technical transportation committee meeting, and this is because we are following the public participation process for the TIP. They did recommend approval of this amendment, and we're asking for your approval of this amendment to first program the additional federal funds and allocate them to the Sagamore Parkway Trail project. So are there any questions or I can answer?
Doug, this is Peter Bunder.
Yes.
You would think with 4 bids, somebody would hit the engineer's estimate. Well, what was the problem, the deal?
Well, in looking at all of the bids, there were a substantial number of projects that did not receive any bids at or below the engineer's estimate. Matter of fact, there's a whopping 22 of them. The low bid of $4,978,000 was from HIS Constructors, but the high bid was from White Construction, and it was $7.1 million. So it's a big, wide difference between the 4 bids.
Yes, we've noticed in some of our bids over here for projects, some disparities like that, and there is definitely a price escalation taking place. So that's why I kind of gasped, because I knew what the engineer's estimate was, and I was hoping, but I can't say that I'm totally surprised by this. But is there any, just from my standpoint, Doug, thank you for working on this so quickly. David, thank you for calling around. I personally appreciate it. This has been, I know it's in West Lafayette, but it's an important project for the community to link the 2 communities and get down to the bridge, and then we'll do the project on our side. And it's something we've all wanted to do, and it links into the plan with REC. So it's something we've all wanted to do for a very long time. So I do appreciate the area plan staff working to find a solution under difficult circumstances. So that's my comments. Are there any other comments for Doug or David? All right, hearing none, we'll conduct a roll call vote to approve this resolution. David Byers.
Yes.
Larry Leverance.
Yes.
I see Perry Brown has joined us. So Perry Brown. Well, I saw him on there for a minute. Maybe he's not there now. Peter Bunder.
Aye.
Cindy Murray.
Aye.
Ben Murray.
Aye.
Travis Cole.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. The next item on the agenda is the APC progress report. Under that, we have the MPO update. We have the 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan, and then the Thoroughfare Plan update. I'm just set them both at the same time there because Tim is going to be doing both of those. So Tim, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So regarding the 2050 transportation plan, that is still on track for adoption in June. And right now we are kind of in the phase where we're doing some public open house meetings. So our staff has been hard at work kind of creating some display materials for that. We have 3 different venues reserved on 3 different nights for some evening meetings where people can come in and talk to our staff about some of the things that we're putting in the plan. So we have one meeting at the downtown branch of the public library, the second meeting at Ivy Tech, and then the third one is at the West Lafayette Wellness Center. So kind of trying to get 2 different geographical locations in the community so that different folks can have an opportunity to have one that's hopefully fairly close to, you know, where they live and such. So those are scheduled to start the last week of April. And then the very last one will be wrapping up in the first week of May. So that's well on track. That's kind of, I think, the main update. Other than that, we're furiously working on getting a draft together so that we can post a draft online for public comment as well. So continuing to try to make sure that people have a good opportunity to comment on this. So with that, I'll take any questions on the MTP. Okay, well, I'm not hearing any, so I'll go ahead and move on to the second update about the thoroughfare plan. So there's not too much of an update on this. Currently, it's still kind of sitting in the comment phase. So we have kind of, I guess I'll call them staff and stakeholder comments. So we're soliciting those to try to see if there are any things we can do to continue to improve the draft of the plan we have. So not too much information for now. More on that later. But just again, I'll use this chance to take any questions.
All right, any questions for Tim? All right, hearing none, we'll go on to the federal funding obligation and then the 18-month letting list. Doug will be handling those presentations.
Thank you, Mayor. Regarding the monthly funding obligation report, of course, we have the one that we put out earlier that came out in the packet. As you can see on the top part, that is the information that we received from NDOT. It does show that we have obligated funding for the right-of-way phase of the Morehouse Road project, and that was done, of course, last month. Looking at the big table just below that, you will see that there are columns that have been zeroed out, but there are columns that still have numbers. Well, the good news is that with the obligation of federal funds for the Sagamore Parkway Trail, next month we will see all of those columns zeroed out, and we will once again have successfully obligated all of our federal funds for fiscal year 2022. So that's the good news. Questions or comments?
Very good. That's good.
Then going on to the 18-month list, 18-month letting list, the top two projects, one on State Road 26 and the other on State Road 25. The bid letting information is on page 2 for the State Road 26 project. For that contract, there were actually 4 projects. The project was awarded to Milestone for a little over $1.7 million, and the completion date, or estimated completion date, is June 1st of 2023. And for the State Road 25 project, looks at dealing with erosion. 5 bids were submitted. There were 2 projects in that, one here in Tippecanoe County and another in Boone County. Five Star Company was awarded the contract, and the completion date is later this year at September 15th. Of course, we went over the information for the April bid letting. There was only the one, the Sagamore Parkway Trail. And then looking down the list, there all appear to be the same dates as in the previous months, so those projects are on track. There is one that did change, and that is a district-wide traffic signal modernization project. Originally, or last month, it was penciled in for a July bid letting, but that has been moved to an October bid letting. So just a few months. Questions or comments? Great, thank you.
All right. Hearing none, thank you, Doug, for your presentation. The other, next under other business is rescheduling of June meeting. And Tim, you'll be addressing that.
Yes, so this is a little bit of a random thing, but because the current MTP we have, the 2045 MTP, is set to expire on June 8th, we do need to have the 2050 MTP adopted by that date. Well, our regular date for the June meeting would be the 9th, which is just a little bit too late. So what we're going to have to do is move the June meeting up at least a day or two. So what I really want to ask is just what the best way is to find out when people would be available so that we can make sure that we have a quorum for that meeting in June, because we will need to adopt the MTP at that meeting. So that timeline will allow us to have all this public participation still completed by that time. But we do need to move it by at least a couple days. So what's the best way to reach out to you guys to find when you would be available so we can schedule enough people to have a quorum for a June meeting?
Well, for me, obviously, it's Lisa. I can tell you, and I certainly don't have to be there as long as we have a quorum, but for me, June 6th and June 8th are both out. I am not available June 6th or June 8th. I'm only available to meet the deadline is Tuesday, June 7th, is the only day I have, and one day I'm even out of town, so it's not even, I can't even move stuff around. June 7th is the only day I have, but I certainly, as long as we have a quorum, I do not need to be on the meeting.
Okay, yeah, I'll get in touch with the admins for the mayors, and then for everyone else, I'll also send out an email about this. So please be on the lookout for that in your inbox, and hopefully I can get some responses. Otherwise, I'm going to have to keep hounding you guys about that. So please respond to me so I don't have to keep bothering you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Tim. Hopefully we can get that done easily. Next item on the agenda is citizen comment. Have we received any citizen comment?
So on YouTube, we have not received any comments at this time. And on Facebook, we have not yet received any comments either. We can wait just a minute here to see if any come in.
Yes, ma'am. Start the clock.
Right.
That'd be great.
I will time it. Okay, it has been 1 minute and I do not see any comments on Facebook or YouTube at this time.
Great. Thank you very much. With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Thunder moves to adjourn.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, thank you. I do apologize for the brevity and the quickness today, but I appreciate it. With that being said, David Byers.
Yes.
Larry Leverance,
Yes.
Harry Brown. I can see his thumbs up there. Okay, yes. Peter Bunder,
Aye.
Cindy Murray,
Aye.
Ben Murray,
Aye.
Travis Cole.
Aye.
Great. All right. Thank you, everyone.